Anger is something that's natural. Unfortunately, obviously. But most men, when they feel angry, it's because they've had something wrong. And what makes them angry, genuinely angry, is knowing that they're wrong. Having that attack of shame coming, towards them. And I'm here to tell you that shame isn't something to view as a negative thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Shame usually comes as a sign that you have something within you that's incorrect, like a belief that you have in mind that isn't truly, factual, isn't truly right. The shame that comes within us, we usually try to suppress it by being angry and screaming at the person who's basically trying to make us feel ashamed. And that's a terrible thing to do. When you feel shameful, you're not supposed to be mad. God made us imperfect. Like you're not supposed to view yourself as like a prophet or like someone who is, doesn't come from any mistakes. No, you are a human being. Human beings are supposed to make mistakes so we can learn. But unfortunately, when you go to school, you get punished when you make a mistake. Speaking from experience, I don't know about American schools or British schools or anything of that. I'm talking about, as someone from the Middle East, I would get punished badly when I was a kid when I make a mistake. Then when I grew up and I started to develop and read a lot of books and start to communicate with people, I realized that making a mistake is the most natural thing you can ever do in your whole life. But being angry when you make a mistake because it makes you feel shameful, like this, you're unnatural. You got something going on, you got a problem. And I'm here to fix it. When you feel shameful, breathe. Like literally, let's say I felt ashamed. I would literally just stay silent and breathe. Okay, what is the issue here? The issue is that I had like a weight of shame come upon me. Okay, what made me feel this way? Okay, I felt that I was wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm a bad person? No, it doesn't. Does that mean I can learn something new? Absolutely. Okay, then feeling ashamed isn't something bad. Plus, I've learned something new. So why would you realize that shame is something bad? It's not, bro. Here, just right now, I had a conversation with myself as if I had, an attack of shame. And it's absolutely normal. I learned something new. You're not supposed to suppress it or to silence it with anger. When you get angry, it funnels you, basically it transports you to an argument with the person that you're with. Look, there is a huge difference between being in an argument and pursuing to be in the same page as the person you're in. When you're pursuing argument, you're just yapping, trying to win the argument, trying to prove something right that you might be even wrong about. You're just yapping and the other person is also yapping, pursuing, that victory when it comes to that argument. And just keep in mind, you will never win. Winning is that when you get tired. When you get tired, the person you're arguing with, they feel fulfilled. They feel as if they won. And just know, if you've ever put in a position where you feel like you're arguing, like you're just talking mindlessly with no directions, that's when you know that you're arguing. That's when you should take yourself out of that situation instantly. Choose silence instead. Because that peace of mind that you get when you just quit argument increases your self-esteem significantly. And that person thinks that they won. But the bigger person is you, because you're the one who's matured. You're the one with you're the one with a good brain. You're the one with a good mindset. So you left the argument. But when you try to get in the same page as someone else, there is no aggression, there is no argument. It's basically pure innocentness. What does this mean? It means vulnerability. Vulnerability basically means that you express your true feelings without, without being offensive, without, trying to protect yourself, or like basically defending yourself over and over and over and over and again. Like, look, if you feel some kind of way with someone, like basically they hurt you somehow, you should address it with vulnerability, because when you do, empathy gets involved. Empathy gets involved with it. Vulnerability, empathy are like a one thing. They get attached together. You will not find empathy without vulnerability, nor will you find vulnerability without empathy. Both of them has to be together. And when empathy is in any conversation, we care about the person in front of us. So if we are arguing and then I switch to vulnerability, you will feel my shoes. Like, I'll give you an example. I'll tell you that what you just said, or what you said previously, actually hurted my feelings, and that's not something I would expect from, from a friend, or like someone who means something to me. I know I may be wrong, but that doesn't mean you have to act this kind of way. I would appreciate it if you could elaborate the situation that, made you say what you said. I'm being vulnerable. Being vulnerable made you feel, empathic. I didn't put like weight on you. I just told you the truth. And I also remained empathic. There was some compassion within it. There was love. There was care in it. Vulnerability is never a bad thing. When you get mad, trust me, when you get mad, do this exercise. Close your eyes and breathe for just 4 seconds. Look. Exhale. That's it. The inhale can be 4 seconds, and you can split it to 2-second inhale and 2-second exhale. But basically, just close your eyes and do this exercise when you get angry. This isn't a sign to tell the person in front of you that you're angry. It's a sign that you're a mature person and you're someone here not to fight, but you're someone here to fix the problem. When it comes to argument, there is 2 things you should keep in mind. Anger and aggression. Anger is natural. Anger comes by itself. Aggression is that fire that builds inside you that makes you want to beat the person that made you angry, and that's wrong. The aggression is an emotion that you can control. Emotions can be controlled, but there are emotions that cannot be controlled, because those are something that relates to being a human. Like, for example, hunger, thirst, anger, lust. Those are things that we can't control, but those things create aggression. So as I've said, anger, hunger, thirst, and lust, all of them funnel us to aggression, and the aggression is the motivation for us to act. In aggression, there is just one mindset that you have to keep in mind, that this is just an emotion. And as I've always said, emotions are just 2 things, a feedback and a suggestion. If I feel like I should close this video, close the curtains, and just go to bed, this is just a suggestion. And if I sat here for 10 hours just talking and yapping about life, I would have a lot of anxiousness, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, because that's a feedback of working without caring about the consequences of what could happen to me. So this is also a feedback. Relying or basically going the path of aggression will take you absolutely nowhere, because this will create more bad than good. Because when you argue with the person, it doesn't improve the relationship, nor does it solve the problem. So when you choose to control it, that's when you are the bigger person. How do you control it? As I've said, you can use breathing or you can use vulnerability. So I want you to do exactly what I'm doing. Anger leads to aggression. Okay, fine. Aggression should lead to fixing the issue. A lot of you guys would connect aggression to violence. screaming, or basically, relying on the fire inside you. It's a bad thing. I want you to wire anger to solving the situation that you're in. If you're angry, I want you to know what is the issue and know how you can solve it. And keep in mind, just a small trap that most of you guys would fall in. It's not because you get angry that means you're a bad person. When you get angry, that's a sign for you to fix the situation or the pain within you. The pain inside you, the pain in your heart. Doesn't mean that you should turn into aggression and you use that aggression against the person in front of you. We are trying to get in the same page as each other. We're not trying to get against each other. The problem is never with anger. The problem is when you interpret anger as something that should funnel you to violence, or should funnel you or take you to basically controlling the other person that you're arguing with, or the person that made you angry. And with that being said, remember that no one will save you by yourself.